Our friends watching on Sky Sports in the UK and Ireland, pleasure to have you with us for our co-main event tonight. Should be a good one.
Both these guys are boxer punchers, but when I was doing my film on Taraji, for this fight in particular, one of his main keys to victory is getting on the inside.
1-inch reach for Rosales, 64.5 for Taraji, and he just looks significantly bigger.
He does.
Even just out by the eye test, looking at them here in the ring as Rosales looks to get started with his jab out of that orthodox stance.
And what I noticed with Rosales is he bites at feints often. That's a bad habit. So if Taraji uses feints before every combination, like right there, he'll find a lot of success.
Taraji moving up to 112 pounds after a dominant run at light flyweight. You're going back looking at his box rec in preparation for this fight. He actually fought at 112 pounds once before, back in his third professional fight. So it wouldn't be fair to say that this is his 112-pound debut, but in a world title at this big of a stage at this point in his career, absolutely a uncharted territory to be in a world title fight at 112 pounds. Good jab, good right hand to the body there for Taraji.
One of the main things that I noticed about Taraji, one of his defensive vulnerabilities is backing up in a straight line after he's finished throwing his punches. It just leaves him easy to get countered.
He won it, lost it, and now he's got an opportunity once again to win it.
So he's been here.
Absolutely has been here. He has 6 losses in his professional career. An early loss to Khalid Yafai back in 2015. He had a loss in his 3rd professional fight, Andrew Selby. But that win against Dago Haiga, he defended against Patty Barnes and then lost it in the 2nd world title defense to Charlie Edwards. Takes one fight and then gets another opportunity at the same title against Julio Cesar Martinez. So he's hoping that the 3rd time will be the charm as he gets started with that lead hand here in round 2. And for Rosales, I mean, he has, my notes say great jab, but I wrote the same thing for Kenshiro Teraji too. Right. I mean, they both have really solid jabs. They both have some good in and out, movement, but that shot from Taraji scored effectively, then down to the body.
Inside of Rosales' punches. But you can see here, Rosales was the one that was pressing him. What I'm noticing with Rosales is he's doing a lot of jab hooks and hook jabs. And I don't know if it's my mind playing tricks on me, but I feel like that's a Canelo move. It's very reminiscent of Canelo, and it could be, the fact that he trains alongside him.
Trains alongside him with Eddie Reynoso. Canelo Alvarez has made his way to Tokyo, Japan, is sitting there ringside. And if you just tune in, actually walked out with Rosales on his way to the ring. And that's amazing to have that kind of support, in your training camp, a stablemate traveling across the world to come see you possibly win a world title. It does a lot for your confidence. Not that he needs anymore. He's been at this world championship level before. I'm not saying that he hasn't earned this opportunity in his own right, but a little extra motivation, especially when you're going against a hometown guy, always
100%,
helps.
100%. That was a great right hand from Taraji. It looked like it hurt Rosales a little bit.
And then he culminated it with a left hook as Rosales took some steps back almost directly in a line to the corner.
Yeah, because Rosales was pressing forward, pushing all the action this round. This is the only time he took that step back.
Rosales a bit hesitant to open up as Taraji lands a right hook, and now Rosales charges back and lands a left hook of his own at the end of that combination.
Another great right hand from Rosales. And you can kind of see what I was saying, where Rosales has a tendency to bite at feints. He was reaching for shots. if Taraji keeps working behind those feints, he's going to keep finding homes for those shots.
Some feints there to start for Taraji with that lead foot. As he tries to bait in Rosales.
Yeah, those are crucial.
Oh, good jab. Beautiful combination there for Taraji. Timed that jab perfectly.
It looks like Taraji's finding his rhythm right now. He's punching and getting back out.
And I think one of the questions coming into this fight for all of us, and maybe even for Taraji too, is how that right hand would hold up. He had a right hand injury that he suffered in that Carlos Canizales fight, and I'm told took some time off, and to be able to come back and test it in a fight is different, right? Different size gloves, no headgear, different than working the bag, right? You got to be able to get out there and trust it again, and it looks like he's trusting it so far.
Yeah, and I mean, he's landing it. Everything's being set off of his jab or a feint. He's working his game plan beautifully right now,
And
Taraji.
the jab to the body too, beautiful. Right hand to the body, slightly on the belt line there.
Those are great shots. He's got to maintain this work rate, Taraji. It's very hard to catch on to someone's rhythm when they're constantly changing.
Oh, that shot hurt him there. Rosales' legs are unsteady as Taraji's got a little over a minute to work here in round 3.
That was that right hand too.
Beautiful right hand set that up, and Rosales is looking to hold. Steady. Jab right hand to the body for Taraji.
Smart going to the body from Taraji.
Taraji's got 10 seconds left here in round 3. Right hand again lands.
He's being a lot more patient than I thought he would, Taraji. That should have been from the very start. Use your advantages. Use your reach. I wonder why he's switching stance.
I don't like it, because that right
You get hit with those right hands.
there. I'll show you why I switched southpaw real quick, as that right hand lands. When you switch from your strong stance, not very many fighters can do it and be as equally efficient offensively and defensively from both stances.
Yeah. No, you get, the right hand is a southpaw's kryptonite. And he got hit with it when he switched.
And back to the orthodox stance for Rosales. About a minute left here in round 4, and he gets caught with a couple left hands there from Taraji.
Taraji's not cutting the ring off as much as he should right now.
And back to southpaw, and he eats a right hand to the gut.
You gotta wonder, maybe Rosales feels more comfortable switching.
I'm just not sure eating right hands like that is comfortable,
No.
Nico. that can't be comfortable. Unless you can land a left hand like that. Perfect answer.
Rosales starting off orthodox, which I believe is smart. And
there is open scoring for this fight with the WBC, so my producer tells me right now as it stands 39-37.
It's worrying because the right hands, even though they're landing to the body, those right hands are so much easier to land when you're throwing them at a southpaw.
And Rosales keeping that left hand cocked, just ready to time Taraji reaching in with that right hand as he landed a significant shot from that stance in round 4, but he's wasting time here. at least if you're going to stand, you've got to, yes, throw that jab with a little more emphasis. Time is ticking away as you're waiting to land
busier.
that. And there's a left hand there. Taraji trying to bait him in to land his right hand.
He's got to start asserting his dominance more, Rosales. You know, you've got to assume, especially if you're, you know, Eddie Reynoso, that he's behind on the scorecards right now. So there's got to be a little bit more of a sense of urgency from Rosales. And you can see Taraji looking for that right hand.
As Rosales fights the majority of this round in the southpaw stance.
Taraji's trying to set that right hand up.
And Rosales continues to kind of touch his nose too with his glove as blood steadily streaming down as he pops his head back once again with the jab. Well, as we saw with the open scoring, he was down on all 3 scorecards, almost a shutout on 2 of the 3 scorecards, and I can't see him winning that round 5 either. I don't think he did enough offensively there, so he could be down and is likely down 5 rounds to none or 4 rounds to 1 at this point. So he can stay southpaw all he wants, but he's got to get busy. He's got to get more active with his hands, wouldn't you think?
100%. You know, what he was doing last round where they were both waiting, you know, if anyone has, you know, if anyone has the choice to wait, it's Taraji, if anything. But for sure, Rosales has to up his numbers. His punch output has to come up. He's got to be more busy. Even in southpaw, it seems like he's just moving. He's just staying active through his movement, but he's not letting his hands go.
Back to the orthodox stance here. As Taraji lands a right hand to the bot. Taraji corner and some highlights from that last round. Almost a check hook. That left hand from Rosales, if he would have maybe threw that with full force, he probably could have scored. Using that kind of jab step feint, if you will. And then lands a right hand once again.
He's doing very good. He's doing little feints, Taraji, before these shots. I don't feel that was low.
No, but Lawrence Cole is going to Lawrence Cole sometimes. I will leave it at that. And there's a left hook, and a right hand gets in there for Taraji.
Rosales is kind of getting away from the game plan that I had mentioned before, staying on the outside, boxing, using your reach. He's the one that's kind of trying to press forward right now, but Taraji's taking advantage of that. That was a good right hand from Rosales, though. And Rosales has a sharp jab. He's got a long jab. If he uses it, he could shift this fight around.
But here at least Rosales is being more on the offensive back in that orthodox stance.
He's a lot more.
Oh, but then he gets caught with the right hand right there.
He's a lot more offensive-minded when he is in the orthodox stance. It seems like he's a lot more defensive when he's in the southpaw position.
He landed a right hand to the body there. Not enough to win him the round.
The unofficial scorecards, he could be down 6 rounds to none.
Sneaky left hand gets in there for Rosales here to start round 7.
And one of Rosales' strengths, just as a fighter in general, especially when I was watching film, is he has great uppercuts. He should utilize them, especially on the shorter guy. definitely looks a little bit more active this round, Rosales.
He does. And Taraji landing a jab to the body and doubling up on the right hand.
It's bothering Rosales a bit. Feint in those lead rights.
Good right hand counter there from Rosales as Taraji looks to go back to the body with the left.
It's going to take this offensive-minded version of Rosales to make this fight closer than what it seems. But these guys are both landing great right hands this round.
Halfway through round 7. Down to the body goes Rosales. And although he is the visibly smaller man tonight, I think that this is a solid, I don't want to say debut, because like I mentioned, his third professional fight, he did fight 112 pounds, but at this world-class level performance at the new weight class here for Taraji, up at 112 pounds. He looks strong.
And his movement is great. Taraji, that's one of his strengths as a fighter in general. He's got great footwork. He's always in and out. You know, he throws his shots and then he's out. Even in moments like this where he's letting the opponent throw, if you pay attention to his footwork, he's always out of range.
And he just did a good job getting that lead foot to the outside when Rosales was in southpaw to close the distance and land that right hand. I mean, it was textbook.
And the way to beat someone who's great at movement is to target the body. Rosales was doing that at the start of this round.
10-second bell, another right hand for Taraji to the body. And as we start round 8, and we'll likely get an update on the open scoring after this round, as they had it through 4, a shutout for Taraji, and then 39-37 on the other scorecard, as the WBC has open scoring in Japan for this world title fight. And I mean, it could likely be a shutout at this point, Nico, for Kenshiro Teraji. Rosales has had some moments, but really has not been able to put a round together. He's had moments.
I mean, when you look at someone who's got the speed and footwork, the movement that Taraji has, you have to go to the body. It's absolutely essential. That is what will slow him down.
Right there he does with the right hand.
And that's beautiful work. When Rosales goes to the body, he does well. It lands. And it will slow any fighter down.
What also has landed is those right hands.
Those lead rights, yeah.
For Taraji.
He's less active, Rosales, when he switches to southpaw. I'd like to see him stay orthodox.
Back to orthodox now as you see his face bloodied from the jab of Taraji. Also the right hand, and there's the jab once again. As Rosales kind of back and forth, orthodox, southpaw, back to southpaw once again, and trying to get something working for him.
Yep. And those lead right hands are landing all night for Taraji. He's fighting Taraji's fight right now, Rosales.
1-2 combination for Taraji, and then he lands a right hook. Rosales just kind of befuddled here. Nico really cannot find an answer for the amazing boy Kenshiro Teraji.
He's having a hard time finding his own rhythm.
I mean, just Teraji landing his offense and then being defensively sound as well to avoid the counter. Nico, would you like to know the score of a fight while you're fighting? Would you like your corner to tell you what the scores are?
Me personally, I would. It would give you a sense of urgency whether you're up or down. You know, if you are Taraji and you hear those numbers, you want to make a statement at that point, which it looks like he is. You know, he looks great. You know, but if you're Rosales and you hear those scores, you need to do something. You need that knockout or stoppage.
And I think, you know, you get the sense of that already from what your trainer's telling you when a fight is this wide, like this, you get the idea, like, yeah, I'm probably going to need a knockout at this point unless I can win 9, 10, 11, and 12, maybe with a knockdown. But I think in a close fight, too, I mean, I kind of like it.
I love it. I mean, you can only be guessing. Your trainers, when they say, hey, this fight's close, you got to step on the gas a little bit, you're only guessing. But when you have open scoring like that, I think it's awesome.
Well, and as we heard earlier, if you watch the undisputed light heavyweight championship fight, Better BF said, well, they tell me I need a knockout in every fight. They tell me I'm down in every fight. So,
and I've heard that from many trainers when I'm winning the fight.
Again, a same slip in that same blue corner. For the second time, actually caught Taraji there. And he comes back with a flurry of punches. 40 seconds left in round 9. And you get the sense that perhaps if Taraji could turn it up one more notch, he might be able to do enough.
100%.
And to get a stoppage in his world title quest at 112 pounds in his first opportunity would say a lot.
Rosales is right there for him to do that, to make that statement. He's moving very well still. Taraji, he's landing his punches, getting out of the way of Rosales' punches. If he just steps on that gas a little bit more, he could maybe get him out of there.
And I'm not able to listen into the corners and tell you what Eddie Reynoso is telling him at this point, but as we get to rounds 10, 11, and 12, you got to think about what's best for the future of your fighter. And we're talking about a fighter in Cristofer Rosales that has fought 43 times as a professional. He's only 30 years old.
Yeah.
But he's been in there. He's been at the world-class level. He's been in world championship fights before. This is the third time he's fighting for this same title. But right now, just being outclassed by Taraji.
He's just not giving Taraji a different look. He's remained pretty consistent, Rosales.
The only different look has really been in the stances, right?
Stances, yeah.
Between orthodox and southpaw, but as he gets tagged with another right hand there from Taraji.
And I'm glad he stopped switching stances, Rosales, because he was just way less active in that southpaw stance.
Connecting with a few shots here and there when he does let his right hand go, Rosales, and none of them have had a huge effect, especially in the latter half of the fight against Taraji. But right now you can hear and sense the crowd getting behind him. He's landing at will, jab downstairs right there to the body.
The crowd wants to see Taraji win.
Not only win, but get a stoppage.
Absolutely. If he steps on this gas, the crowd's going to roar. He can get the stoppage. It's right there for him.
And I'm just surprised that Rosales really didn't keep that jab popping tonight and use that range that he has. He has such a good jab, and tonight I just felt like it was completely negated by the speed and power of Taraji.
After that second round when he got rocked, and Taraji almost slipped again there in that corner, but after the second round when Rosales got rocked, it seemed like he got away from his initial game plan.
And just teeing up with his right hand.
Landing at will right now.
Doubling up there with the right hand once again.
Blood pouring from Rosales' nose.
Oh, up top, then stab jab to the gut for Taraji. Okay. Well, the doctor did. The doctor did what the ref or the corner did not.
Champion of the world, the amazing boy, Kenshiro Teraji.
Inside inside of Rosales' punches. But you can see here, Rosales was the one that was pressing him.
I'll show you why I switched southpaw real quick as that right hand lands Taraji corner, and some highlights from that last round. Almost a check hook. That left hand from Rosales, if he would have really threw that with full force, he probably could have
bothering Rosales a bit. Feint in those lead rights.